Hey, Marky Mark and all the Supernatural fans. Update on Isabel. Isabel has thrown us a little curveball this weekend. So Weapons Box is not done because we found out something about her. Last week when my dad and I had gotten to a certain point on Isabel's Weapons Box, we stopped and said, hey, we're going to finish it up on Thursday/Friday. We'll be all done with it. And, you know, I went back up to the city to do my regular job and so forth. And I came down this weekend and, me and Dad came down to finish it up. And we noticed when I opened up the trunk that there was water in the trunk, and I was like, well, what the hell? This thing's always kept indoors, and so, it wasn't outside in the rain. And then, too, how in the hell did water get in there? So I asked Michael and Don, I'm like, hey, did you guys wash this car? And they're like, yeah, we were knocking the dust off it and stuff. And we noticed that the car has a leak. And I was like, what the hell? Why is this car leaking? Well, I guess Isabel is a very special, rare car because this car had no rust in the back window. I know. Look at that. That's all original there, guys, down in there. So Don never removed this window. He's like, why am I going to have to remove it if, there's no rust down there to fix, holes? Well, car gets painted, everything's beautiful, we're putting in the weapons box, we're finishing this thing up, and now we got this water leak. And what's happening is water is coming in down here, and it's so when the rain comes down, it's going underneath your molding and stuff, it's seeping down, and then it comes up over this like little, ridge, because the original rubber in this thing is rotten, I guess, it's just deteriorated. And so water's seeping through, and then it's going down because there's little holes down in here and for your clips and so forth, from the factory. And that water's coming down into the trunk area. So Don and Mike are going to have to remove this, get all this resealed with new stuff instead of the original 1967 stuff. And that way it'll make it all watertight again. So I couldn't finish the weapons box. Don's like, well, Rick, let's go ahead. You can go ahead and put the weapons box in and we'll get this fixed. And I'm like, what happens if we have a leak? How are we going to know? He goes, oh, well, you can still see it coming down through this and we can still fix it. And I'm like, yeah, but all the water's going to sit underneath the weapons box. And he's like, oh. So weapons box got put on hold. And but don't feel discouraged because, it was actually a blessing that we didn't finish last week because otherwise we would have known about the water leak and just bad things, So, blessing in disguise. So what's going to happen now, Mark? Isabel is Monday. Don and Mike are coming over, taking the window out, resealing everything, putting everything back. Then they're doing that Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Isabel is going to the exhaust shop. And the exhaust guy came over here yesterday. Now, I have not used this guy before, but his wife owns the Napa. Well, I guess she runs it. They own it. The Napa store here in Garnett, so where we get all of our parts for your car, unless they're coming off eBay. And so he came over, we talked about how it had to look and so forth. So he told me, he goes, really, there's not that much difference in aluminized pipes than the old standard ones that rust out and look like shit. And he goes, I don't even carry the old standard pipe. He goes, I do everything in aluminized. And he goes, it's just really not even that much more. And I'm like, well, sweet, because we all know Hero 1 has the aluminized exhaust. So we're going to run your car with aluminized exhaust, which is obviously better. And we're not going to put the exhaust tips on it because we're going to have the exhaust ends, pipes, cut to match Hero 1. So I will buy those exhaust tips back from you. In fact, I'm going to send them to one of my buddies whose car does not have the exhaust tips on the rear. And I'm not going to mention any names, Jason Waller, but we're going to get those sent out to him, or I'm going to give them to him. So I'll buy those from you, and everybody will be happy. So once that comes back, we'll get the car back Wednesday/Thursday. Thursday I'm coming down. Me and Dad are going to hammer out the weapons box, and Isabel will be done. That means we'll be making arrangements, or you will be making arrangements to have her picked up and shipped to you. Hurrah, hurrah. So there is Isabel. She, weapons box, actually got my Pepsi and my camera case up on it. Weapons box. We did do the lid. Going to talk to you guys a little bit about this here just for a second. I probably mentioned this in other videos. This carpet here, I hate this carpet. In fact, I hate it so much that I'm actually taking a sample of it with me back to the city to see if I can find something easier to work with but the same color. So you're going to notice the two different colors, just like the Hero 1 box. This stuff is just horrible, horrible, horrible. It has a mesh back, and it's very stiff. And then when you cut it, it frays. So I've actually taken a torch and went around and kind of like melted the ends and stuff, so that way it would keep it from fraying. Now I've also spray paint. You know, you're kind of looking like it, like, God, man, that looks like it's stained and stuff. I've actually kind of distressed this one up, and this is actually the bottom of the lid, because I'm not going to carpet the top until I do the whole thing. Now, one thing that I will tell you, and I'll tell everybody this, Hero 1's weapons box, that carpet is cut in sections, and I do all mine in one section, okay, on all one piece. It looks professional, it looks right. You know, even Jeff Budnick said, "Oh, Rick, you build them right." You know, they just slapped this thing together, put it in there. You know, and on TV you can't tell. And I know there's a picture of me taken by Super Dave when I was like, "Holy crap!" And I had this face of despair on my, you know, just this look, and that is because you know, you can't pick up these little details. And I was telling Dad how everything looks really crappy, and I try to make these look crappy. And I know that's really bad to say, but I try to make it look worn, used, abused, like the original TV show car. And, you know, Dad said, well, you might want to watch what you're doing there, because a lot of people out there haven't seen the original car. They don't know it's really like that. And I do take that in consideration, but I think most of you guys know, and you can actually kind of tell by a lot of the screen grabs and stuff, that these boxes are really used and abused. So I'll be distressing up this. I leave like, here's some, like a mark right there, stain. I'm going to put stains on this thing. I just like them really looking nasty and stuff. So anyway, there's the lid, the bottom of the lid. It's done. I'm not going to show the inside of the car because I've got all of our special welding and stuff that we've done, and I kind of keep certain things a secret. But Isabel, like I said, next week, by next Saturday, this car should be done and ready for pickup. So I'll be talking to you, Mark, here very soon. Sorry, I know you're really looking forward to seeing that weapons box, and I was looking forward to getting it done, because now it's going to be on my mind all week that I'm still going to have the weapons box I have to do. And I've told everybody I hate doing these. I've got, new windshield wiper blades I got to put on the car. And I'll show you the engine. There is your new radiator hose. Yay, the correct one is now on. We actually tightened the heater hoses up so it wouldn't rub into your air conditioning belts and stuff like that. So there she is, looking all beautiful and ready to go. And if you guys just watched Christine's video, you'll notice that Once again, there's the aluminum radiator in this car because this car is going to be a driver. So it better be driven, right, Mark? So that's what these cars are built for, to drive, guys. I know people, you're going to spend a lot of money on them. And then when you spend a lot of money on them, you don't want to go out and drive them because you're afraid they're going to get dinked, you know, everything, scratched. Somebody's going to breathe on it, and it's going to happen. You know what happens to the originals. And you know what, when you go out here and you take videos of it and you take pictures of your car, those little dink scratches don't show up just like on the original cars. That stuff does not show up on film. It does not show up on cameras unless you zoom in on it and show people. But these cars are made to be driven. I hope everybody that's building their car really drives them. Don't put them in the garage, you know, and just use them for shows and put it on a trailer and take it there. Drive them. Drive them to the shows if you can. Drive them any chance you get. Obviously, if you're in bad weather, don't drive it in the winter and snow and ice, and that's stupid. But, you know, in the summer, spring, fall, rain, get them out there, man. These things they're awesome, and they're so fun to drive, and you should be enjoying them. Life is short. Remember that. There's people that's, you know, left this world and it's never had the privilege of driving one of these, and that's pretty sad because this is just, Chevrolet did this car right. And, you know, I would have never, ever give this car a look if it wasn't for the show. And I'm going to say that's probably a lot of people. Yeah, I know some of you guys out there, oh, my dad had one, my grandfather had one, somebody had one in the family, but so you kind of knew about it. But this car now is the hottest car on the planet, the most searched for. I think I posted an ad or a post here on Everything Supernatural about how it's the most searched after car. And I've been telling everybody for quite a while now that this is the hottest car on the planet. It's the new General Lee. It is, they're just so awesome. Me and Jeff Budnick were talking about this car because me and Jeff don't like four-doors. I mean, we're not a four-door people. We're hot rods, coupes, convertibles, you know. And, you know, Mustangs and Cudas and Camaros. But this car, they did it so right. The body lines flow beautiful on this car. And then with the hardtop has that, I always call it a factory chop. It's got a different roof line, the pillar slant. It sets lower than the four-door post / sedan car. And Chevrolet just nailed it out of the park with this car. So it's just, you know, it's one of those things, and when car guys see it, they're like, well, that's a nice car, you know. And for a four-door, I didn't know they made a good-looking four-door, you know. And it's just one of those things that it just really stuns people when they see it. And they don't even have to be a fan of the Supernatural or even know anything about Supernatural. They just see this car, and they're like, wow, it's a really, really nice car. And it's a beautiful car. Now, is it ever going to be, you know, to bring, you know, like 32 Fords and 57 Chevys, and, you know, you've got your Shelby Mustangs and stuff like that? And would these cars ever get to those numbers? It can. And it can be because of the fans. Remember, fans drive the prices. And this car right now is going for good money. Unfortunately, rusted out cars are going for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and they need tons and tons of work. Is that right? You know, I look at it like this. I wouldn't want to pay that. But sometimes if that's all that's left, and you have to go with supply and demand, you know, it's a shitty thing, but it is what it is. And I know guys paying even more money than that. We're talking $15,000 for rusted out tin from the 30s and stuff. So I guess it all kind of flows together. It's sad that it does. It would be nice if, obviously, if everything was at a lower price. That way more people can get involved. Me and some of the guys were talking the other day, and we were talking about the tuner cars, you know, your Hondas and these Fast and the Furious cars, whatever they want to call them. And I'm like, listen, that's not my bag, you know, as Austin Powers would say, it's not my bag, baby. But it's what kids today are into because, one, guess what? They're affordable. And what people forget about is teenagers back in the 50s/40s, 50s, and 60s, vintage tin, nobody wanted those cars. And those kids are what made these cars worth the money today, making hot rods. There were no hot rods until these kids started doing things to them. And now that era of people, these cars have just, you know, gone crazy, you know. And so now what's left, you know, you have this new generation, and they're doing tuner cars. And that's fine. You know, I always tell everybody, hey, I'd rather have somebody out there, you know, building the Honda, Nissan, whatever, instead of buying drugs or committing crime and stuff and having a hobby and a passion. Just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean it's right or if it's wrong. You know, it is what it is. And I like to see people working on cars. I don't care what kind of car they have. Have something, enjoy it, you know, and have fun. That's what this hobby's about. And there are no rights and wrongs in this hobby. I don't care if you have a four-door. I don't care if you have a station wagon, a pickup. I don't care what the hell you have. I don't care if it's a 1988 Oldsmobile family car. If you like it and you're spending time on it and you're driving it, God bless you. You know, that's the way I look at the car hobby. And I wish a lot more people would open their eyes and look at it that way. Like I said, do I like Hondas and Nissans and stuff? No, but I do respect it. And I'll tip my hat to those guys. Those guys are making serious horsepower and, you know, doing their thing. And God love them, you know. I'm not going to go out and buy one, but in the same breath, there's some people out there that's like, well, I'm not going to buy one of these cars. That's a four-door, you know, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is, but respect people for, you know, having a passion. And the other thing that kind of really, it's always burned my ass since doing American Graffiti cars, is people don't like TV/movie cars. And I'm going to tell you straight up the reason why when you hear people bitching online or whatever, these are the, guys, this is just plain cold hard facts here. They're jealous. And they're jealous not because you have this car. They're jealous because more people pay attention to your car than their car. Your car will bring more money than their car. And, you know, they spent the same amount of money or, you know, did the hard work and everything. But you go rolling into a show, and especially, you know, if you got an American Graffiti car, something very iconic that people have seen on TV, the General Lee, Ghostbusters, whatever it is, and people go flocking to it because people remember seeing that on TV and that brings back memories and stuff. And people get upset about it, you know. And like I've said, these cars right here, these 67 Impala four-door hardtops are bringing more money than SS convertibles. You know, 67 Impalas and that upsets a lot of people. Should it? No. It's fucking stupid, you know. If you love something, it doesn't matter what you're spending on it. I don't care if you spend $1 million on a $200 car. If it's your love, you want it, it's your dream, who's to say that's wrong? So that's the way I look at this. And I always look at everything with open eyes and you know, I look at both sides of the fence, you know. I just think a lot of people are wrong. And does that mean my opinion's right? No, but I think it's a pretty fair assessment on the way the hobby is. And there's a lot of guys out there that think like me. They're like, hey, man, just get a car. We don't care what the hell it is. Do it, fix it, learn it, you know, and make it your life. And because once this stuff gets in your blood, oh, my God, guys, it doesn't get out. I mean, I've been into cars since I was probably crawling. I mean, I had Hot Wheels. I remember as a kid hunting down Hot Wheels in stores and stuff, and I was always after, you know, what I called the cool cars, the muscle cars and the hot rods and stuff. I never cared about the crazy stuff that Hot Wheels made, I was always into the cars that I saw on the road. And when I was a kid, I saw a lot of muscle cars, guys that are obviously older than me that had cars driving them around in town and stuff. And I lived in a very small town. You know, that's the stuff that made me just, And then, you know, I did what I could do. And my first car was not a muscle car or a hot rod. My first car was a 79 pickup, 79 Chevy pickup, full-size Bonanza, red and white. To this day, I still miss that truck. My truck was a nice-looking truck. It was gorgeous. And I was young, stupid, and tore the shit out of it. And, you know, it got sold. And, you know, now I look back on it as an adult going, why in the hell didn't I take better care of it? Why didn't I keep it, you know? Given the chance today, if I could find that original truck, I would pay an uber amount of money for it. You know, just because that was my truck. And I had a lot of fun in that truck. But do what you want. Build what you want. Don't listen to other people. If you have a four-door Post 67 Impala and you want to call it your supernatural car, by all means, do it and have fun with it. You know, the only thing I say to people that do that, don't go around saying, "Oh, this is a Dean Winchester's baby, and it's just like the one used on the show." Blah blah blah. Don't lie about it. Come out and just say, "Yeah, you know, well, this is what I have," and be honest with it. And people respect that. Don't try passing something off as what it's not. You know, I know there's people like Mark here, and I got Christine's car down there. I got Goldie's car over there, which is Stephen Hornback's. I got the Darkness right here. My buddy Jeff's car. You guys can say, "Hey, our cars are show correct," blah blah blah, and that's great. And I want people to brag on their cars and love their cars, but my thing is, don't let people bring you down, and don't let people. There's some people out there that can't afford these, and sometimes they get mad. And people are like, "Well, I don't have that kind of money. I can't afford it to send it out to get it done," and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, And there's some people who are just pissed off at the world. And pay no attention to those people, because I'm willing to help those people just like I am helping everybody in this shop. I tell everybody everything. And just so everybody knows, like Mark and Steven and Jeff and all these guys, they don't even know how I build the weapons box. That is a little secret, But it took me a long time to figure that kind of stuff out and do it right and solid and level, and list goes on and on and on, carpets and everything. But no, I'll help anybody. I always tell everybody, I don't lie. I tell people what it takes to build this car, the parts, blah, blah, blah. There's some people that want to listen to me, and there's some people that don't. And I'm willing to talk to anybody if they want to listen. And the ones that don't and want to badmouth me or whatever, guys, I don't lose any sleep on that. I know there's people out there. I could probably name you a list right now, and I'm not. I wouldn't even give you the satisfaction of knowing their name. And I don't even mention their name. That's the way I roll. I don't let negativity bring me down. I do what I do. If you like it and you follow me and stuff, awesome. And if you don't, that's okay. There's a little, of course I'm old, but there was an old Ricky Nelson song. And it says, sometimes you just can't please everyone, so you just got to please yourself. And the song is Garden Party for those that want to know that. And that's the honest to God truth. I please myself. It's like I told everybody, and I've told all the girls before, how I know I'm really good at sex? Because when I'm done, I'm always satisfied. Okay, that's a joke, guys. But you do have to take care of number one, and look after yourself. Obviously, to me, it's always been God, family, country, But my family, my friends,